Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Friday, October the 15th. We've got Dr. Anand Chockalingam with us today. You know, he's our heart doctor specialist who reminds us that we need to smile at least 200 or 300 times a day for good heart health. And we've got a very special guest with Dr. Anand, Uncle James Mauser, who works behind the scenes here on Radio Friends, working with guests. Today, he is Dr. Anand's guest because we're talking about fasting, right? This is something, Dr. Anand Chockalingam, that you talk to your heart patients about, fasting, and you were talking to Uncle James about it, and he started fasting. How long ago, James?
Probably April is when I started.
And you fast once a week.
I like your studio, Paul. It's really nice.
Okay, James, we got it.
And it is once a week, intermittent fasting, right?
Yeah, I like your studio too.
Oh, thank you.
Because this is my way of connecting to our community.
All right.
And I'm so glad you're trying this. So we want you to tell us, our audience and everybody, how your experience has been with fasting.
It's been a wonderful experience. You know, when I saw you do the segment with Paul on fasting back then, I remember thinking, wow, why would anyone just want to fast? I mean, what's the purpose of it? But you gave us all a copy of your book called Seeking Hunger, and the book is wonderful. It's a concise, compact view of man and food from the very beginning all the way up to the present time, and why hunger has played such a part and how it can be so beneficial at the same time. So that was intriguing to me. But the parts that really got to me, and I wrote this out of your book, fasting more than 12 hours can help reduce our chances of developing cancer, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and dementia. And I'm like, this is a no-brainer, right? I mean, I could do this. I wanted to try it, so I tried it.
Excellent. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Okay, let me inject something here. He said fasting over 12 hours can help reduce your
risk of a lot of chronic problems and long-term issues like dementia and heart attack and cancer.
Fasting over 12 hours. Is it considered fasting if, say, like you had dinner at 5 o'clock at night and then you didn't eat breakfast till 6 o'clock the next morning?
So it is already nearly 12 hours.
Yeah, so you're fasting overnight. Does that count as fasting?
It does.
Then so why is it necessary to go a full 24 hours?
Excellent question. The answer, actually, we have to go back 5,000 years when the Siddhas talked about this as a way of optimizing life. 5,000 years ago, life expectancy was not even half of what it is right now. People were not living this long because of war and famine and infections. And throughout the world, life was much, much harder. But even then, they realized if we have 2 meals a day, we'll be much healthier. And people who did a lot of meditation and wanted higher consciousness, they were eating most often only 1 meal a day. This is 5,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. And what happened is the common man looked at it and said, oh, it's meant for philosophers and siddhis and people who do a lot of self-inquiry into understanding life. It's not meant for common people who do farming and business and go to be in the military or things like that. But the reality is, for most healthy people, lesser food makes us more effective in whatever we want to do. How do I know this? Not out of whatever I read, which is written 5,000 years ago, but it is out of my own personal experience with fasting, which started in the summer of 2018. For the last 3 years, I've been doing this. So what I personally do is about 12 to 14 hours on most nights. I don't eat anything. And once a week, I go for 24 hours. So Tuesday evening, I have dinner at 7 p.m. Wednesday, I come to work, drink water when I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. And then when I'm done, I try to play some tennis for 1 or 2 hours. I still compete. And then I have my dinner, which is 24 hours later or 25 hours later.
So that's what James, you're doing.
24-hour fast.
You go 24-hour fast. What do you feel? What did it feel like the first couple of times that you started fasting?
Well, actually, the first couple of times, I think I was doing it wrong because the only thing I was drinking was coffee. But in my coffee, I was putting cream, and sometimes I was putting a like a vanilla flavor thing.
Was that wrong to do?
When we say fast, we mean 0 calories. So from dinner at 7 p.m., by 9 p.m. we fasted for 2 hours.
Okay.
So
no
0
cream.
calories defines the fast. But ideally, once we learn it right, we should be able to. Most people who are not diabetic, who don't have liver issues, who don't have eating disorders, and they should be able to go. Especially if they're not on insulin and other medicines, they should be able to easily withstand up to 24 hours.
Yeah.
Once in a couple of weeks or once a week. And this is because all of us have evolved through a lot of variation in food availability over millions of years. And food was not this granted. We just have to open the refrigerator to access food now, and we didn't have that before.
Okay, so you stopped putting cream in the coffee then?
Yeah, I realized I was doing that kind of wrong. So I stopped that, and the first time after, I started to really feel the effect of having nothing except coffee and water in my system. And however, as this has gone on, I do feel more vibrant on that day, especially the latter part of the day. After 12 to 15 hours, I feel like I've got more energy than I've ever had, and I find it strange because I've had no food in my body.
So why is that happening?
This is because of the liver kicking in. The liver is very smart. It does what is called natural ketosis through metabolic switching. And that means if we smile 20 times an hour and we are grateful and relaxed, and then if we are drinking just water, the liver kicks in. And it's using our stored energy, which we have stored in our body by way of fat. It's using it from the body reserves and from its own liver reserves. And this is the simplest thing we can do to reverse weight-related metabolic problems.
Yeah. So we're out of time here, doctor, but you talk to your heart patients about doing this.
Yes, and more importantly, I'm finding healthy people like James and us, we can all learn this, not only for physical health, but our mind will also be more relaxed and able to cope with life's challenges so much better when we learn this simple technique.
We're out of time. How do they get more information?
We have it on High Life Journey, HILIFE journey.org. All these lectures and series for patients, we have it on there.
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining us, James.
Thank you, Doctor. This has been very, very enlightening for me.
Okay, highlifejourney.org. Doctor, thank you. Uncle James, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, pleasure having both of you here. Okay, we're out of time for today. Something you'd like to hear or see, I want to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp, missouri.edu.